Listen up, stories from the Northwest Corner.
Bill, your earliest memory of the park?
Creation of the park, actually. I was on my dad's shoulders when I was 4, so it's 1937, and President Roosevelt was going through town.
Wow,
With
I
all-
heard about that
section of
visit,
the park. Yeah, wasn't actually
With all of the, like the police in the big cars with the big, all the protection around the motorcycles and police. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, imagine.
So, yeah. And that was, I think that's before it was a park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was there to set up the inception of the park. Yeah.
And other early, like 7 years old or to 9 years old, was going with in a Model A up the old road, the old Hurricane Ridge Road from the Elwha up to Obstruction Point and going into Moose Lake and fishing.
The earliest memory of the national park was getting lost at the Salduck Hot Springs. I can't remember how old I was, but I was young enough not to really know what to do when you're lost, so I just kind of wandered around the lower campground, and I ran into this kid playing in a sandbox, and I asked him where my campsite was, and of course he was my age, so he didn't know. But his parents finally came out and found me and figured out where I was supposed to be, and everything ended up okay. It wasn't a horrible thing, but that was my first memory. Maybe one of my first memories, actually.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Right on.
Was right there at the Salduck.
Who took you to your first national park?
My grandpa.
Your grandpa?
Jack. He was, he worked in the 3 Cs program around just a little while after the Great Depression. The government started up the 3 Cs program to work on national parks all over the place as kind of an incentive to get people back to work. And so at the young age of like 18, he was out here building roads. I think he actually built the road up to Whiskey Bend. They said the first group that gets this road done, we're going to give them a little keg of whiskey. And so they got that road done, and they got a little keg of whiskey, and it was forever known as Whiskey Bend after that.
Do you have an earliest memory of a national park?
Yeah, so that's Olympic National Park for sure. I think my first trip into the park that I remember was when I was in Boy Scouts. So that would have been, we must have done some short hikes. The first big hike I remember, though, that was 11 years old, and we did a 50-mile hike.
Wow.
From the North Fork of the Quinault over the Low Divide and out to Elwha. So basically the press expedition route in reverse. So that was kind of our standard 50-miler every summer.
So what's your earliest memory of a national park?
Let's see. I remember going down to Toliac Point, which is National Park south of La Push, when I was pretty little. My family would go down there because my great-grandfather and a friend of his each built a cabin down there in the 30s because they leased land from this Milwaukee Land Company or whatever it was. So we've been going down there since then. I was probably maybe 4 or 5 the first time I went down there, yeah.
Cool. Do you have a favorite memory?
From down there...
Or just in general? Of the park?
Yeah, just being down there on the ocean beach in the park with my family, you know, where our family had been going for a couple of 3 generations or so.
To hear all of the Listen Up interviews and to view the Burt Kellogg photo collection online, visit the Washington Rural Heritage website.